Hi guys, I hope we are all okay. Today I want us to have a very interesting conversation. And this conversation basically, it will not only involve accountants but even non-accountants, because you'll find that these changes actually affects all of us in whichever industry that we are in. So the big conversation today, even as I know as we are preparing to go for our holidays, but it's also important for us to learn one or two things, right? Basically, how to future-proof your skill set. Yeah, how to future-proof your skill set. You find that in its Future of Jobs report, the World Economic Forum claimed that by 2025, not far, 50% of all employees will need reskilling, driven by automation adoption, technological innovation, a quickly evolving business landscape, and the economic impact of the pandemic. Because we all know what COVID did to world economy and the impact that it brought in terms of technology. So you'll find that these drivers, of course, will be all too familiar to finance and accounting professions, which are witnessing the impact technology basically is serving on the profession in the form of cloud accounting. Talk about automation and big data. We are having kind of blockchain, and all these are technological impacts that we are seeing today. While some think that technology basically is a threat to jobs, but in one or the other, you'll also find that it will also create new roles and skills, as well as providing novel ways in which to learn them. So today's conversation, I want us to discuss and maybe kind of try to identify, even if it's not all, some of the skills that you must be having depending or where we are heading. Actually, not depending, but where we are heading. Some of the skills that you must always be having. So you'll find that I'm going to categorize these skills as hard and soft skills. Yeah, for those probably who are taking notes, this point you're seeing that we're going to categorize these skills basically as hard and soft skills. Now, if at all we are to focus and look at areas that probably it has been really impacted with technology, of course we cannot put accounting aside. This one has also been greatly affected. So you'll find that future skills area for accountants revolve around harder technical skills such as data interrogation and visualization. Talk about financial planning and analysis. We normally term it as FP&A. Yeah, and tax and regulatory knowledge. Roles in finance, business partnering, transformation, and project management. And these are basically technical skills that you must always possess. And that's why you'll find that even these accounting studies, at least each and everybody is trying to kind of customize it to fit where we are heading. I'll take a good example of CASNEB. CASNEB, recall, right now they have introduced that course or a unit of business data analytics, because they have also seen where the future of accounting is. So the earlier you prepare, the earlier you equip yourselves with these skills, the better for you. So basically these are specific technical skills that we must always tend to have. What about soft skills? Soft skills at this point, we are talking of soft skills like communication, talk about stakeholder management and adaptability. Also, negotiation is a skill that at all we should always tend to possess. So that's why we say that today, of course, if time will allow, we'll be looking at all this bit of the hard skills and soft skills as well. You find that in most fields, hard skills are generally impacted by ever-changing technology talk about regulations and principles over time. Because like whatever that I've learned today, probably you're very good in data analytics when it comes to maybe Power BI. Tomorrow there'll be another set of maybe technology or another set of package that will be used. So you'll find that many a times these are areas that will change. Talk about regulations. Initially, before COVID, we didn't have digital tax in Kenya. Today we are talking of digital tax. So you'll find that these are areas that will always tend to change over time. So keeping hard skills up to date with these areas in mind gives you the confidence to deliver on specific tasks where things are constantly evolving. You'll find that it also means that you are staying on trend. Because if at all today you are very good in data analytics, and probably the previous lot of accountants aren't good in data analytics, you'll find that you as an individual, you'll be on trend. At least you'll be you'll be staying on trend, which makes you a very valuable person to any business, client, and other stakeholders that you can talk about. Because you normally say that the more up to date your hard skills are, the more expertise you build in an area that can command higher compensation. And that's why you normally tend to talk about aspect to do with bargaining, right? Because you'll find that at this point you've been invited for an interview. At this point, majority papers are very important, but also skills is also very key. So you're given a task, because nowadays you'll also realize that the mode of interview has really changed compared to what used to be. Like you are just being asked questions theoretically. You'll find that nowadays you'll be given a computer, or rather maybe depending on the job that you are depending on the job, of course, you'll be given at least an area where you can show the skills that you've stated. Because in your CV, you're going to say that, yeah, I'm good in accounting, I have BCom, I have CPA. In this case, probably I'm having like, I'm also good in computerized accounting. Yeah, we want to prove this. We give you a laptop there with maybe certain data that I want you to analyze for us. Are you able to do that? So that's why you normally tend to say that the more hard skills you have, the more expertise you build in an area that can command higher compensation. In that case, of course, you can always bargain for higher wages. And if we can remember this saying by, of course, Rosalind Barr, her name was Rosalind Barr, right? Whereby at this point, normally tend to talk about your soft skills basically are transferable and should continuously be developing and adaptable, right? Learn that very, that was a saying by, if I can confirm, this person was Rosalind Barr, right? Rosalind Barr mentioned that your soft skills are transferable and should continuously be developing and adaptable, right? Because at this point, you can always tend to transfer these soft skills. So basically, it's always very important also for you to stay on trend. You'll find that the soft skills basically will depend on your work, how you engage with your stakeholders, these are communication, right? And the level of your role. You need your soft skills to be able to relay basically your technical ability, right? Maybe for instance, in a post-pandemic world, you'll find that the style of communication has purely changed completely, right? Because I understand before pandemic, like if I can use our other company, Darasa, we were trying, that was before pandemic. Like you are trying to convince someone that, you know, like you can study online and go and do your exams. People were very skeptic. They were like, you know what, this can't work. But post-pandemic, what have happened? In that case, when you are asking your client, maybe, you know, like there's no need of me coming there physically, you can conduct our meeting online, they were seeing you like not a serious person. But what is happening, what has happened after post-COVID, you'll find that communication has really changed. Communication has really changed, whereby you'll find that nowadays you can be able to engage our stakeholders virtually, and basically understanding your audience and tailoring your style to that and being digitally proficient have all become important, very important as soft skills, also you as accountants. So how good are you able to communicate? How good can you pass this message to the stakeholders? So you'll find that it is very key, because at this point you will be engaging your stakeholders, and at this point you'll find that things have really, really, really changed, right? Now, come to this big question. How then should we prepare for all this? I normally tend to talk about self-evaluation. The big question is, those who are watching, accountants and non-accountants, I know you're watching this video, have you ever tried to self-audit yourself? That's a question I'm asking you. Have you ever tried to self-audit yourself to where we are and what you possess? What can distinguish you from the other person in the field? Let us talk about, today conversation is going to be tough, right? Let's talk about self-evaluation. For professionals to learn new skills, it will take a combination of efforts. Probably with governments and organizations investing to upskill their workforces, but also individuals putting themselves forwards. At this point, as much as the organization is trying to boost, as much as this organization is paying for your maybe seminars in ASPAC or maybe ACCA, but as at the end of the day, it will all come down to you as a person. It will all come down to you as an individual. And there's no better time to start than now, right? There's no better time to start as now. As a great resignation probably has shown in many areas, whereby today you'll find that people are really resigning simply because they have kind of found maybe a new way of doing their business, that is content creation, right? At this point, you find that I normally term it as a talent war, right, out there, whereby you'll find that after global pandemic, that was 2020, there's a talent war. Everyone is creating their content. Nowadays, you'll find that if, for example, I can take a good example with what is happening here in Kenya, right? We're having a lot of content creators. Allow me to use this. We have several guys, but we can use Eve Mungai, for example. She's one of the content creators who started like just the other day. Right now, you'll find that she has created a business, right? Talk about, so I know Mr. Beast was there he has been there for a very long time. Like say, for example, Mr. Beast. If you guys don't know Mr. Beast, just go and search Mr. Beast, right? He's one of the most kind of high-earning content creator in the world today. These are basically talk of, in that case, we are looking at it in terms of basically doing this aspect of course, online. So a lot of people basically are resigning to do content. So you'll find that at this point, in some countries also, there's even a shortage of accountants. Like if now we can come to maybe what we are talking about, this profession. Yeah, that's a fact. There are so many countries that there are shortage of accountants. Why? Accountants have decided to resign to go and do their own stuffs. Nowadays, you'll find that a good example is Canada. They really, really advertise like, we need these professions, we need these professions. Why? Is it that in their country they don't have accountants? No, it's because like people have ventured in different areas and sectors of technology. So at this point, we just have to prepare ourselves in terms of us evaluating ourselves. So the big question will be, how do you make yourself stand out? That's a big question that we should ask yourself. How do you make yourself to stand out? You'll find that new business skills is always an asset on your CV, but how do you know which skills to acquire? That's a question that you should ask yourself. How do you know which skills to acquire? How do you know which skills to acquire? So you'll find that there are various things you can do and signals to pay attention to in identifying skills you might be lacking. First, you need to understand the skills required in your intended career path. That is very important. And this is not only in accountants, but you need to understand the skills required by your intended career path. Then at this point, after you have understand the skills required, perform a gap analysis and self-audit to know those you're missing. Yeah, you should do that gap analysis and basically self-audit to know those skills that you're missing. Research industries and roles you want to work in. Check job adverts, read industry media, talk about network with relevant people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually nowadays, it normally tend to create that connectivity basically with professions. And also maybe while you are going to these seminars, you know, like at times I'm always kind of not very encouraged or surprised. You find that maybe you are in a seminar somewhere, in a very in a hall of strangers, but this generation of ours, more so accountants, more not only accountants but youths per se in generally, you've just concentrated on your phone without even knowing who is besides you, and this person probably can be maybe your destiny connector. At this point, you're just there, yeah, you're in a hall of strangers, but instead of you basically interacting, of course, you're doing your professional interaction, right? You're just there with your phone, Facebook, you're on Instagram, but in real sense, you are leaving that connection just besides you. So I normally encourage more so this generation of ours, like while you are in a place which is quite new and strangers are besides you, it is always very ideal and important to try to have a conversation with that person who is besides you. You never know what that person holds, and in such an event you'll find that you might create a path that you never even you've never even imagined. So while you are in these seminars, while you are in these events, I'll always urge you guys that try to always network. You normally tend to create a very good network in future. Now, to better understand your current skill set, seek constructive feedback from peers and seniors. Talk, engage your seniors, engage your peers. I know it's difficult to be self-critical, so the honest input from such people will be invaluable, right? And above all, the honest with yourself. Always be honest with yourself. If you're having the skill, say you do have the skill. If you don't have your skill, say you don't have the skill, right? Always try to be honest with yourself. Try to talk with your seniors and peers. They'll always try to open our ways in one or the other, okay? Yeah, I know today's conversation is quite long, but it is key for us to understand, right? Because now it will build our confidence and ways in where areas that you can improve. Now, other question would be how to go about upskilling. Yeah, we've talked of maybe at this point, remember we've talked of self-evaluation. Now the question would be how to go about upskilling. Work with your employer and managers to get the training you need. Employers know they need to boost their skills. Employers know they need to boost their skills, capabilities to remain competitive. So if they are not already investing in learning and development, make the case to them, convince them on how, or maybe convince them on the benefit, value addition that you're going to bring in that organization. Of course, if you have upskilled yourself, suggest to them the value addition that you're going to bring in the firm, right? And that is the best way. That always talk. That case, employers at times will always tend to listen. Another key area also, pay attention to any of the hot topics in your profession and sector, and make efforts to familiarize yourself with them. You'll often find that many times, for example, if I can talk of ISPAC, they normally tend to organize these professional seminars whereby we normally tend to earn continuing professional development points, whereby they always tend to open our mind wide on areas that are changing in this environment of ours, also when it comes to accounting. And for more specific skills also, take up a professional refresher courses. There are so many, right? This is just a matter of you upskilling yourself, right? Take up professional refresher courses. A lot of these courses, at times you can find them free online. Also, if you can log in to many platforms, including Mdarasa, we have these skills refresher courses which can really boost your knowledge and skills. So you'll find that this will help you to improve your skills. Now, at this point, also you'll find that, I can't forget to say this, Advanced Excel. This is a very important course that at least you must always tend to have. So, of course, you can take this course with us. Mdarasa offers this course. You can take a course with Mdarasa. They offer that course for Advanced Excel and other courses. Now, you'll find that maybe just in summary, for us, as we are concluding this conversation, what are the hot accounting skills? I'm terming them as hot accounting skills. Initially, they were thought to be in a whole different career, but today you'll find that they are hot accounting, and I'm using hot accounting skills. Number one skill, probably you can also put it down if at all you'll find it to be very interesting. Number one, you're having general business knowledge. Accounting profession who possess strong business acumen and help develop strategy, inform key decisions, and serve as business partners for their clients or across multiple departments. You'll find that if they are in-house finance personnel, they'll always aim to become trusted business partners. Because like if I can find like maybe I'm having, say like John, or maybe I'm having, say, like Marion. I've realized that Marion, other than just accounting skill, she's very good probably in business knowledge. Of course, I'll always tend to involve her in various activities, and it will put her different from other employees, right? The other key area, talk about technological skills. I've talked of this so many times about us being kind of update ourselves when it comes to technology. So technology skills, you'll find that with the advancements in software, cloud computing, and automation, accountants are working with new technologies. All the time, accountants are working with new technologies. So update your skills by learning new cloud-based applications for finance or even finance reporting tools. E.g., we're having Hyperion. I don't know if you guys have heard of Hyperion, and so many other packages, right? Talk about blockchain. Blockchain nowadays is very common and is a key skill that almost every accountant should be having in future. The other skill, we are talking about communication skills. Very important. You'll find that basically accountants need to be able to tell. Yeah? Accountants need to be able to tell the story behind the numbers. And that's where we normally tend to talk about data visualization, right? At this point, both verbal and written communication skills are very critical for success in any accounting or finance role. Communication skills. Whether you're writing or speaking, to become a trusted business partner to your clients or departments, you will have to present information about the business in ways that can be understood and acted upon. And that's why we're talking about communication skills. The other skill is customer experience, right? I know maybe you might say that, you know what, this should be kind of just shared with maybe sales department. No. Customer experience. For your client's business to survive and flourish, customer experience needs to be a focal point for all businesses. Accountants can help clients look at processes to make them more customer-centric in order to drive sales and retention. not only just sitting there, but you should be kind of providing areas or maybe services that are customer centric. Very important and very key. Then lastly, maybe there are so many skills that you can talk about, but maybe let's just conclude it with this skill. Talk about the aspect of payments, right? Accountants need to help clients or departments understand the best ways to collect cash for positive cash flow management. After the global pandemic, there are many payment options available now other than traditional cash or credit cards. How well do you know these payment options to help your clients remain in a positive cash flow position? That's a question I'm going to ask you. Other than the credit cards and normal way of cash collections, how well do you know these other payment options to help your clients remain in a positive cash flow positions? Of course, you can talk of PayPal and all other forms, but remember, there are so many payment options. Even me personally, I normally tend to learn. Like the other day, I was having a board meeting. I was having a meeting with a board of directors of a certain company, and I was amazed that there are some certain tools and payment options that I didn't have. I remember one of my friend and one of the director in that company, Gilbert. He was like, we know Fred, Aringo, maybe one of these days he might come up with that startup. Yeah, that was funny, but it was very kind of motivating. So basically what I'm trying to say, and maybe concluding this conversation of ours, guys, accountants and non-accountants, let us upskill our skill sets. Let us try to do self-audit and identify to do that gap analysis and see what you are missing for us to be prepared for future. In our next conversation, maybe we'll talk about how to be a good negotiator, right? That will be our next video. So at this point, guys, I wish you a happy holidays and enjoy your families and friends and loved ones. Wish you all the best. We'll be having more of this conversation, and I know it will always tend to open our mind wide. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button and let us keep this conversation going. Thank you so much, guys. As I normally tend to say, adios.